Imagine returning to a place where your life changed forever. The sidewalk, the buildings, the trees, the church where you sat bleeding after being attacked. The place you've replayed in your mind for many years. Now imagine walking through those same streets and realizing they no longer have power over you. That's exactly what happened to me recently. 20 years after I was violently attacked in San Diego, I went back for my best friend's wedding. I was curious. Did the horrible event still have control over me? What I discovered was surprising. My hotel, the Inn at the Park, was located directly across the street from where I was mugged. I didn't realize this right away, but when I arrived to check in, I was completely aware of my surroundings. The northeast area of Balboa Park is devoted to outdoor activities in an urban setting. There are children's playgrounds, numerous hiking trails, and lawns for sunbathing. After checking into my hotel, I walked over to the location where the crime occurred. Nothing had changed. Even the playground looked identical to what I remember 20 years ago. I continued north on 6th Avenue, where I was going to meet friends for dinner in Hillcrest. There is a particular scent that California has due to the dry air combined with plants like the eucalyptus and numerous pines. It's difficult to describe, but as soon as it hit my nose, I was flooded with memories, both good and bad. I continued to follow my route from the park to the location where I had decided to sit down after being attacked. At that time, my head and neck were wet with blood, and there were numerous people around me. An ambulance had been called, and I would soon be on my way to the hospital. I could hear the people talking as I got near the All Saints Episcopal Church on Pennsylvania Avenue. This was particularly ironic since I had grown up in Pennsylvania and relocated to San Diego in 2004. Nothing changed at the church other than a fence that had been put up around the building. The steps where I sat and contemplated the vibrant green plants beside me were still there. The echoes of the past were still there. However, what surprised me wasn't what I remembered. It was what I didn't feel. I wasn't reliving the attack. I was observing it. I wasn't trying to escape the memory. I wasn't trying to erase it. I was simply noticing it. 20 years earlier, that place represented fear. Now, it represented growth. Recognizing helped me see my story. Releasing helped me loosen its grip. And finally, rewriting allowed me to assign a completely different meaning to the same event. That's what we're talking about here today. The lesson is, most people think that rewriting means replacing one story with another. That's not quite accurate. It's about becoming the author instead of remaining the main character trapped inside the plot. For example, my old story was I was attacked. The meaning that I gave to it was the world isn't safe. The new meaning that I gave to it was the attack changed my life, but it also led me toward the work I'm doing today. The event didn't change. The meaning that I gave it did. This is incredibly relevant. People rewrite stories every day, but often in very unhealthy ways. For example, I got divorced. I'll never be loved. I lost my job. Thus, I'm a failure. I made a mistake. So I've ruined everything. People confuse the events with their identity. An event is something that happened. An identity is something we choose to carry. That's a memorable distinction. Let's pause here for a moment, and I want you to think about this for yourself. On a piece of paper, I want you to draw 2 columns. The first column, I want you to label what happened. Here in this column, I only want you to stick to the facts, no interpretations. In column 2, it should be labeled what meaning have I given to that event. So in the first column, you're going to write about what happened in your past that may be affecting you today, that you may be still victimizing yourself from an event that happened many years ago. But I want you to make sure you stick to the facts of those events, not interpret them. And then in column 2, write the meanings or the meaning that you have given to that event. How does it make you feel when you think about it? Does it have control over you? And then once you've done that, ask yourself this question. If someone else experienced the exact same event, could they tell a different story? What story do you think they might tell? This question opens the door to rewriting. It puts you in a different perspective and position to realize the event in a different way. I left Balboa Park that afternoon realizing something I never expected. The park hadn't changed. The sidewalk hadn't changed. The church hadn't changed. Even my memories hadn't changed. The only thing that had changed was me. For years, I thought healing meant forgetting. Instead, I discovered healing meant becoming someone who could remember without becoming trapped by the memory. That's what rewriting your story looks like. It's not about changing the past. It's about changing the meaning the past has over your present. If you'd like to learn more, check out my free ebook at drdwaynecuster.com. And don't forget to like and subscribe. I hope you have a great day.